Long, long ago, in a small village nestled among the hills, there lived a young farmer named Li Ming. Li Ming was a diligent and kind-hearted man who toiled in the fields, tending to the fruit trees day in and day out. Yet, despite his efforts, he couldn't shake off a feeling of unhappiness. He felt that his life was lacking and yearned for more, desiring wealth and success. Every night, as he lay in bed, he worried whether there would be enough food for the next day, or if more gold could fill his house. The villagers tried to remind him that Li Ming already possessed many things people dream of: a loving home, abundant fields, and a beautiful wife. But Li Ming would just shake his head, for he was perpetually dissatisfied, always craving for more. "Perhaps I need to leave this village and search for a better life," he told himself. So he decided to set out on a journey in pursuit of wealth and happiness. Leaving his village behind, determined to change his destiny, Li Ming bid farewell to his family and friends in the village, shouldered his bag, and set off into the unknown. He traversed cities and countryside, tried his hand at various occupations, seeking a path that would transform his life. Yet, wherever he went, he found no greater contentment within himself. Day after day, Li Ming roamed from place to place, striving to chase after what seemed like an unattainable happiness. The riches and success he had dreamt of seemed to slip further from his grasp. But he couldn't stop because he firmly believed that with more effort, he would eventually find true happiness. However, even as his life changed, his inner emptiness persisted like an unfilled pit. He began to ponder that perhaps the issue lay not in external changes, but in his inner attitude. In the end, Li Ming returned to his hometown village, but this time, he was no longer the young man eager to change his fate. He was a person wearied by his inner turmoil, determined to seek a deeper understanding of life. Li Ming decided to visit a temple to seek inner guidance and insight. When he arrived at the temple, he found the master sitting in the courtyard. Deeply engrossed in meditation, Li Ming approached and respectfully said, "Master, I left this place to find more, but I've always felt dissatisfied inside. I crave wealth and success, but I can't seem to find true happiness. Please guide me. Tell me how to find happiness." The master smiled at Li Ming and calmly said, "Young man, you pursued many things, but your inner discontent arises from greed. Desire knows no bounds. You've been trying to fill an insatiable pit. Happiness cannot be achieved through material wealth. Only by being content can you find inner peace and happiness." Li Ming looked at the master in puzzlement and asked, "Master, what does contentment mean, and how can I achieve it?" The master smiled and picked up an empty teacup from a nearby table. He began pouring water into the cup, and when it was full, he kept pouring until water spilled onto the ground. Li Ming watched this and asked, "Master, why do you keep pouring water when the cup is already full?" The master paused and replied, "It's because the cup is full that I stop. Your inner self is like this cup. When you constantly pursue more, when desire knows no bounds, your inner self will never be satisfied. Only when you stop chasing and find contentment in what you already have can you experience true satisfaction and happiness." Li Ming began to contemplate this, and the master's words made him consider his true inner needs. Perhaps the things he had been seeking had been around him all along, but he had never truly appreciated them. After leaving the temple, Li Ming's heart was filled with reflection. He understood the master's teachings, but it wasn't the answer he had expected. He still felt he needed to change his life, not just cease his pursuits. With this determination, Li Ming embarked on a new journey. He decided to explore distant places, believing that happiness might be waiting for him far away. He yearned to find a life filled with wealth and glory, which had been his lifelong dream. During his journey, Li Ming met various people who shared their stories and dreams. He learned new skills, tried new occupations, but the inner discontent persisted. No matter where he went, he found himself troubled by the vortex of greed and desire, always craving for more. As time passed, Li Ming realized that his determination and efforts hadn't brought him the happiness he had expected. He felt even lonelier and more desolate because he recognized that he had been pursuing an unattainable dream. One day, while aimlessly walking through an unfamiliar city, he spotted an old man sitting on a bench by the street, leisurely whistling a tune. The old man appeared incredibly content and happy, despite the absence of conspicuous wealth or signs of success. Li Ming decided to approach the old man and curiously asked, "Sir, you seem very happy. Can you tell me your secret?" The old man stopped whistling, smiled, and replied, "Young man, happiness isn't always linked to wealth or success. I've learned to be content, to find joy in the sunshine, the gentle breeze, and my own breath. I appreciate the little things in life, and that's what makes me feel happy." Upon hearing the old man's answer, Li Ming began to recall the master's words. Contentment brings happiness. Perhaps the answer didn't lie in external changes but in his inner attitude. He realized that the happiness he had been seeking was already in his life. He had just never truly appreciated it. From that moment on, Li Ming started to savor the sunshine, the gentle breeze, and his own breath each day. He made an effort to appreciate the small things in life, which brought him inner peace and happiness. After several journeys, Li Ming returned to the village he had yearned for. He felt it was time to seek the wisdom and guidance of the master once again, as he wanted to confirm that he had truly understood the meaning of contentment. When he met the master once more, he smiled and paid his respects. The master, sitting serenely, recognized the change in Li Ming's heart. He asked, "Young man, you seem more at peace. Have you grasped the essence of contentment?" Li Ming respectfully replied, "Yes, master, I understand now. Happiness isn't about pursuing more. It's about being content with what you already have. It's only when I stop, appreciate the little things in life, that I find inner peace and genuine happiness." The master nodded with a smile and said, "Young man, you've understood the wisdom of Zen. Contentment is a state of mind, inner calm and happiness that doesn't depend on external material wealth or success. You've taken the first step, and now you can return to the village and share this precious wisdom with your family and friends, helping them find inner peace too." Li Ming felt comforted and grateful. He understood that his life would now have a fresh start. He bid farewell to the master, and with inner calm and happiness, returned to the village, ready to share this invaluable wisdom with his loved ones. Contentment became the guiding principle of his life, and he had finally found true happiness. Li Ming became the sage of the village, and his life was filled with purpose. He no longer pursued more because he knew that happiness was right beside him, as long as he appreciated and cherished what he already had. Contentment is an ancient wisdom proverb that has been passed down through the ages. It teaches us that in the pursuit of happiness and success, we should learn to appreciate and cherish everything we have in the present moment. People often get caught up in dissatisfaction with the future and a desire for more wealth and higher status. However, what is often overlooked is that what we currently possess might be the very seed of happiness we've been searching for. Contentment is not about giving up on our aspiration, but rather about appreciating the happiness in the present moment while still pursuing our goals. As a wise person once said, "Don't always focus on the rising sun, also appreciate the twinkle of the stars." The philosophy of contentment tells us that we don't always have to place our happiness on some distant and unattainable goal in the future. Instead, we should learn to enjoy every moment, savor the small joys in life, and be grateful for those who contribute to our well-being. This phrase also reminds us that wealth and status, while important, are not the sole sources of happiness. The warmth of family, the companionship of friends, and inner peace are among the most valuable treasures in our lives. When we understand contentment, we can still feel abundant and happy even with very little. So, let us remember this profound saying, never forget to be content. Cherish the happiness of the present moment, and be grateful for everything in life. Because it is in this contentment that we can truly find happiness and joy.